What's up, guys? Army-Firedawg back, and today, bit delayed, but I finally have the review up of my first ever tube amp. If you remember that video, it was the Garage1217, that's the name of the company, and this is their Project Horizon 3. This is a tube amp. It's not their flagship model, but it's about upper middle tier. But as it makes a perfect starter tube amp, which has been perfect for me. Get myself into the home amplification side. But anyway, moving on to this guy. So when I first plugged it in, I was immediately baffled at how well it looked. Like when it's turned on, and I didn't bring the power cable in the office, but I just chose to go with the red LED lights, which complements the orangish color that's in the actual tube. I mean, it just looks really, really nice. If you check out my full written review video, which of course I'll leave a link in the description down below, check it out if you like to read my full review. I mean, it just really looks nice, especially in the dark room. But the sound on it, when I first plugged it in, I was actually sitting right here and I just leaned back and I just couldn't help but just be flabbergasted at how just everything just opened up. Of course, I was using my Sennheiser HD650s. That's what I bought this for. Is all I've constantly heard from all my good friends from Head-Fi saying, "Hey, a tube amp is what you got to get. A tube amp complements the 650s. Tube amp 650s." So, okay, I went with the tube amp. What brand? A good friend of mine, Everett, Shrugs. I definitely give him a shout out. He commented on this brand and said, "Hey, the customer service is wonderful. Jeremy really answers you questions." So I was like, okay, cool. So I hit him up, just general questions, see if I can get into the field and find out which product was best for me. So I asked him, he hit me up and didn't actually recommend his best product. He actually recommended this one, which corresponds perfectly with what Ev's told me. Perfect for me. And it was reasonable within my budget, which is this guy retails. You get two options. The one I chose is the built package, which is $275 plus shipping. Then you can choose the disassembled version, and I think you save 20 bucks. I think it's $250 for the disassembled version, but that means you have to put all this together yourself. I'm not doing that. I ain't that good. But moving on to the actual appearance of it. As you can see, it is a very translucent or transparent, whichever term I'm trying to get, shell. It just perfectly keeps itself opened up, which keeps it very, very cool, because as I found out a couple days ago, these guys get really hot. This is their heat, what disperses their heat. And when I was picking it up, my fingers grabbed here instead of the case by accident and gave me a little bite. But I didn't think I would like the see-through feature at first, but after having it for a while, it looks very nice. And also, my palm, this is a very low profile. So like you can put it anywhere, on a bookshelf. I've been having it next to my bed, my little square end table, I guess you can call it. And it just fits perfectly. Then as far as durability goes, I honestly thought this thing would be the flimsiest thing by the looks of it. I mean, it's all plastic, very few metal as far as the frame goes, but luckily I haven't dropped it, so I haven't tested that far of it yet. It's a durable little booger. Like, this feels nice in your hand. The tube is easily removable, and also on that note, you can very freely roll the tubes. Like if you find another tube you want to try out, you can easily roll it. This takes a vast variety of tubes. Currently I have the stock JJECC82 tube, so my only prep or bias is on this one single tube. I have not purchased any more as of yet, but I've been looking into the NR8, the 6-something tubes, whatever they are, 6-something tubes. I haven't told about them. They look good. Now, going way back to the sound. Okay. And this is where it has its first massive negative. And that is when, so you've got it powered up, you have your headphones connected, you have your aux jacks connected to the media, but you have the aux jack in your hand. When you plug it into a media device, whether it be your phone or, so help me goodness, my computer is where I have this the worst, is you get the loudest pop, or it's a bang almost, that physically hurts. It is so loud. I mean, it's sharp, it's painful, and it's every time I plug it up, with no exception, every time. So I've had to keep my headphones off my head or plug it into the media before I plug the headphones into this, which is not always convenient because, as I said earlier in the video, usually I have my tube amp all the way on my media center because my chair's on the other side of the living room. This is all the way on one side. So that's not always the most convenient route. So I mean, it's notable. But go on to the actual sound, as I mentioned earlier, when my first little demo, when I put it on, so stunning. I mean, it's just a nice, warm, embodied presence. It's like the curtain just lifted up, and I was just getting a massage in my ears, is the best way I can describe it. The mid-range had a very nice warmth to it. I mean, just so welcoming. It was, I honestly thought I had a cleaner versions of my Bowers & Wilkins, or very comparable versions of the Bowers Wilkins, which is, as you all should know by now, my former benchmark headphones before the Oppo PM1s. I didn't think it did anything with the treble, or at least I personally could not tell any discernible difference. And as far as bass goes, it didn't tighten it up. I think it added to the decay, which, as if you're watching this video and you don't know what a tube amp is, a tube amp intentionally it intentionally incorporates harmonic distortion. Now, for me personally, I found I like that most of the time, because when I'm listening to music, I'm not, again, most of the time listening it to critique a headphone. I'm doing it to enjoy. I like headphones, what they're designed to do. Give you musical enjoyment, not critique every nitbook and cranny unless I'm doing a review on it. So when I'm relaxing and I don't care about the old quality, this thing is perfect. I mean, I just sit back and I'm just floored by all the detail. But, and this is also another but, when I am critiquing and I do want that sonic accuracy and I'm truly paying attention to the details, it's very easily discernible that the soundstage is artificially increased. Like if you have an Android device, it's usually on Android, I'm sure Apple's have it, but on the media player it says Stereo X or something similar to that, and all that is artificially increases the soundstage, so it makes things sound more vast. But doing that, it really disorients and distorts the audio. Like, it just sounds fake, it sounds just bland, it's not a pleasant sound when you are critiquing it for a critical, accurate listen. That's the only time I listen to it and hear it. And it is very unpleasant because you're trying to get that finite details for a potential error or plus of a headphone, and then you get that distortion. So I do have to keep that in mind when doing this tube amp. And real quick, another aspect on the sound, and this is our cool feature. If you have different headphone impedances, right here, there's one on each side, you can, while you are listening, adjust the impedance on it from lower, which is about 150 to 300, 150 to 300, medium resistance, which I think is 300 ohms to 450, I think, and then high impedance, which is 450 up to 600 ohms. Currently, I'm reviewing the HD 700, so I have mine on the low setting. Yep, low setting right now, which I think it sounds the best. I think it gives the best energy, and the volume, it helps out. But that's actually about all I have for this guy. As I mentioned, I'm not super experienced with tube amps or amps and home amps in general, so I'm probably missing something, but from my current experience level, that's about all I got for this guy. I mean, it's a great starter tube amp. I have zero regrets about buying it. It was a wonderful first purchase. Probably will do business with Jeremy and Garage1217 again just because of his level of customer service. Wonderful independent answers. I still cannot get over that. But that's all for this video. Of course, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps me out. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that share if you think a friend is looking for a tube amp or an amp in general and is quite unsure. And as always, if you like my content, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I mean, keep yourself on the field in. Or if you have any questions, I don't think I've said this in previous videos, but man, just leave them in the comments. Hit me up, talk to me. I'd like to hear from you guys. But as always, my name's Army-Firedawg. It's been a pleasure. And as always, stay safe.